Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And we just got some breaking news on the Ripple v SEC lawsuit. Yes, we just got two new documents, including a verdict from the judge. James Fillon also posted it over on Twitter, but you can find it for yourself apparently over on this website. And it's actually the first time that I went to look through it properly, and now I noticed, boom, every single thing is just posted on here in exact order, and there was a page number 2. That's why I got confused. I was like, whoa, I'm missing something, but there's a page 2. Having said that, if you are enjoying the daily crypto updates, make sure you press the like button, and of course also subscribe to the channel. Let's now quickly check through these two things. All right, so there's two main documents. We can quickly cover both of them. There's the memorandum endorsement, and there is the order on motion for discovery. This document number 163 is actually not the most interesting one. It is this one that is most interesting, mostly because it's just one page. However, this one came out prior. So let's quickly check it out. All right, so dear Judge Netburn, we write on behalf of defendants Ripple Labs Inc., Brad Garlinghouse, and Chris Larson to respectfully request that the court enter an order removing from the case file 2 exhibits, right? That's exactly what we have seen right now. To be clear, defendants do not agree with the SEC's assertion, yada, yada, yada. Respectfully, the court is directed to delete the exhibits at ECF, NAS 141 and 142, so ordered by Sarah Netburn. And as far as I'm concerned right now, this basically means they filed a document on May 4th, and a couple hours later or a day later, Sarah Netburn actually, put the stamp on it that it is going through. And the reason I went through it really quickly is because I actually want to show you guys the original document, because apparently we can find everything through here. So let's quickly check it out. Here is a letter addressed to Magistrate Judge Netburn from Martin Flumenbaum. I think he is Chris Larson's attorney. RE withdrawal of exhibits. Let's again check it out, because apparently this is so easy to do. All right, so here we have a one-pager, and again, it's basically the same document without that little stamp of approval, which to me shows that is exactly what is going on. We write on behalf of defendant Ripple Labs to respectfully request that court enter an order removing from the case file 2 exhibits. The defendants previously filed under seal in connection with their letter dated April 28th. After we filed these two exhibits, the SEC asserted that they were privileged and had been inadvertently produced, asking that defendants destroy all copies of the exhibits pursuant to the paragraph 30 of the protective order in this case. We accordingly make this request to avoid any non-compliance with our obligations under the protective order. To be clear, the defendants do not agree with the SEC's assertion of privilege, which is baseless, and making this request, we are not conceding the validity of the assertion. Moreover, we note that defendants requested last week that the SEC produce redacted versions of these documents as replacements to be filed with the court, but the SEC thus far has failed to do so, without explanation. As of first stance, this top part is negative, right? Because the Ripple is kind of admitting to the SEC, like, okay, you know what, we'll take some documents away. However, they turn that around in the second part. They're saying, you know what, we're actually not agreeing with the SEC, and we actually just want them to post it towards us. Moreover, we note that defendants requested last week that the SEC produce redacted versions of these documents as replacements. So in the end, what they're doing is just saying, okay, you know what, we'll destroy two little files, and the SEC has to give us some redacted versions of these as replacements that actually have to go through the court. And now, as far as I'm understanding, the court has now said that is true, or that is okay, right? I'm not sure exactly if she's also making it clear on the second point, because to be honest, it's only saying here, respectfully, the clerk of court is directed to delete the exhibits, basically 141-1 and 141-2. If she's going to follow through and, also talk about the second part with the SCS to provide, that I do not know. But I believe we can actually look back on page number 1 here and find 141 and 142. Again, maybe not, but I thought, logically speaking, it should be right at the bottom here. So 141 and 142 should be under this one maybe, or under this one, maybe something like that. RE 126. Again, I didn't really check this part out too much. I'm just thinking right now with you guys as well. 141 is something else. So maybe it isn't. I was just thinking maybe it's really easy to find. This is RE 148. So no, it should be somewhere in the middle right here. RE 126. Maybe it should really be 141. It says here, selected parties, a letter of reply to response to motion addressed Magistrate Judge Netburn from Flumenbaum Kellogg, all Ripple's lawyers basically. Motion for local rule conference addresses Magistrate Judge Netburn from Martin Flumenbaum. Document filed by Chris Larson. Order to file under seal. Okay, so it's basically a response to that. We can only buy it. That is it. Okay, so we cannot download it for free. We can only buy this little paper. It's a little bummer. Most likely we can find it somewhere out there. But by the way, if you're hearing stuff, it's loud cars. It's middle of the night, but there's always cars right here going crazy. So that is that. A lot of people are really happy about this part, though. What is it talking about? Well, let's actually check a little bit further. We have another document, as you just already most likely saw. SEC v. Ripple Labs Order on Motion for Discovery, Document 163. Dear Judge Netburn, Plaintiff, SEC, respectfully seeks an order that resolves pending discovery disputes and bars defendants from seeking irrelevant privileged SEC staff materials that this court has already ruled are not discoverable. This first part here was a letter on April 21st, 2021. We can actually look back a little bit, April 21st, 2021. The SEC basically, I'm not exactly sure where it is, I think here. Well, what the SEC basically posted was they do not want Ripple to be able to kind of file for all these documents. They do not want Ripple to discover all these documents. Like we've also been explaining on the channel a couple of times now, they want to kind of crawl back and say, you know what, Judge, whatever you said, we don't really agree with that. We don't think you really said that, even though you said it literally. We think you meant it differently because these documents, we don't think Ripple has the right to get them. And that is what the judge has responded to right now. Once more, in simple terms, the SEC said, we do not want to hand over these documents, and the judge right now gave a response. So it's a couple pages long, mostly because the SEC breaks up their points first. Obviously, it's just repetition because it's basically they file a motion, they file a document, and then a couple of days later, in this case here, May 6th, the judge basically looks at these documents and gives a stamp of approval or denial. So let's quickly go through the points and see what exactly the judge talked about. The order denied defendants access to internal SEC staff communications. That's what the SEC brought up. They said the order actually did not give you access to this. Defendants make new and broader requests inconsistent with the court's order. So they're also saying Ripple is trying to get more and more and more, even though the judge didn't say that that could be done. There is no reason to broaden the court's order. Once more, kind of a reply to that one. And the SEC's interpretations and views on the law must be and are publicly expressed. I don't know exactly why they bring up this point because if you think about it, their stance, honestly, about Bitcoin and Ethereum isn't really clear to me. Even though they're saying it's being public, I don't know about that one. And then the renewed request for internal SEC staff communications is contrary to this court's order and demonstrates further discovery gamesmanship by defendants. It's kind of like one of the earlier points where it's basically saying it's not supposed to be this way here. Defendants make new and broader requests inconsistent with the court's order. All right. So let's quickly check out, is there also a point 6? I don't believe so. Yeah, no. There is now a judge, Sarah Netburn, who replied to this and said, having reviewed the parties' submissions, because she also took into consideration Ripple's side of things, the court makes the following clarifications. And this is basically like a conclusion. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the daily crypto videos, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. Make sure you do that, all right? You're helping the channel out. And let me know down below what you think about the XP loss. Do you think Ripple will win? The SEC must produce communications with third parties, including external agencies and market participants, subject to a privilege assertion. So, once more, the SEC must produce communications with third parties. This means whenever the SEC talk to a custodian, talk to anybody, they have to provide that information. And this includes external agencies and market participants, subject to a privilege assertion. I don't really completely get that part, but all right, it's already clear. 2, the SEC need not, so this they don't have to do, produce informal intra-agency communications, such as emails, and such communications need not be searched or logged. So the point here is every single email the SEC sent internally, they don't have to give those. And I personally don't think that's really odd, but we'll see further. Intra-agency memoranda or formal position papers, which again, these are basically if any member of the SEC gives an order, for example, you know what, you right there, go look into Bitcoin, or you put down to this exchange that they cannot trade XRP anymore. Those are official orders or memoranda or formal position papers, which basically shows The SEC right now is taking a stance on XRP. The SEC right now is taking a stance on Bitcoin. That's a formal position paper. Formal meaning it's not just a friend to a friend inside the SEC. No, it's an official stance. Discussing Bitcoin, Ether, and XRP must be searched for and produced subject to a privileged assertion. So once more, the privileged assertion was a really big discussion before. I don't really firmly get it, and I still don't know if I can explain it properly, so I will not. The first part, though, once more, the SEC has now been kind of effed in the A, let's call it like that, because what basically happened was Ripple has won. Let's call it like that. That's the conclusion for right now. Ripple has won because Ripple wanted two things. They wanted these communications with third parties and external agencies and market participants, and they wanted the internal memoranda. That's basically what the judge said on the 6th. However, on the 6th of April, she also said you have to meet and confer about these docs, and the SEC didn't agree. They said, you know what, in that meet and confer, we noticed, we don't want to give you all of that, and the judge basically now says, you have to give it. You have to. Examples of such documents include divisions reports, final reports on internal working groups, or formal position papers submitted to the commissioners. Although such documents may ultimately be privileged, information that would be provided on a privileged log, such as dates and participants, may itself be relevant and is discoverable. So some parts might be privileged, meaning what I'm assuming that they cannot be used in all of this because there are some privilege which government workers have, right? Which might be something that they're referring to here. Then again, those might be relevant is what the judge also states. Logically so, though. If at one point or another, one specific person in the SEC thought something and made that public, that might be relevant. Number 4, any documents withheld on the basis of privileged must be identified on a privileged log. And this basically means they can't just assume everything is privileged. They have to really show exactly which one and most likely also why. And then the court directs the parties to continue to meet and confer on the remaining issues presented in their letters. Respectfully, the clerk of court is directed to grant in part the motion at ECF number 126, so ordered. And I'm not exactly sure if this was 126. I'm not exactly sure we can find that anymore right now. There's so many documents right now. Let's quickly check out. 126 was, yeah, that was basically the SEC side of things, motion for discovery, where they basically wanted to numb it down and whatnot. Okay. Yeah, so that was what was happening that day. There were more things happening that day, though. There was a lot going on. Also, Ripple, for example, that's 127. So basically, they're granting in part the SEC's side of things. This motion to, let's quickly check it out. Motion to, what do they want? I'm not exactly sure what it's called anymore, but you guys get everything, I think. I don't think there's any difficult part anymore. I think we understand it all. The SEC has basically sided with Ripple. They've been partially granted, but then again, it's actually only in favor of Ripple, at least the way that I'm finding it right now. Unless this whole privilege log is a bigger part than we are making it out to be, that could definitely be the case. But as it currently stands, it's really extremely bullish on XRP/Ripple. Is the price acting towards it? I'm going to say no, because this news came out about an hour ago, but usually the price starts to pump about a day after positive news comes out. And as I just said, as I just told you guys, this stuff is extremely, extremely positive for Ripple because it means all these documents which the SEC has been trying to hide are going to be made open to Ripple to see. So since the SEC also hired some new settlement experts, be prepared that some crazy stuff is about to go down. As we just got this information, it is pretty damn huge, and I will try to refresh this freaking website as soon as I can, or as often as I can, so I can provide these documents as soon as I can too, all right? So you guys have the discussions, but make sure you also follow me on Twitter for that. Then I'm going to be trying my best, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video soon. Make sure you also check out Bybit. A link is down below. I tried my best to get some cool deposit bonuses, so go check it out. A link is down there.